2020 was a mess. Don't get me wrong, there were some bright spots, but overall, bad year. But at least for me, the truth is, part of what makes some of the more depressing parts of everyday life work is the ability to look forward to things. Say, yeah, today sucks, but Friday, I've got something awesome planned, and that'll be here soon, so that makes today a little more bearable. Sometimes it's an event, or a party, or very frequently it's a piece of media. Movie, TV, comic, video game, whatever. So I want to take a second in early 2021 to remind everyone that there are some truly good things that we have to look forward to. And while some of them may be delayed, a good chunk of them look like they're going to happen. So join me, won't you? The ghost of 2021's future on a journey to get excited about a year full of cool stuff. And one thing I really hope people do is like and subscribe. It really helps the channel. Okay, no more plugs. Title card. First stop, Marvel. WandaVision. What do I need to say about this one? We've seen the trailers, you've seen the clips. Depending on when you're watching this, you may have even seen the show. It looks awesome. It's drawing inspiration from Tom King's incredible Vision series of comics, a series that focused on how living the suburban fantasy can be more difficult and dangerous than saving the world 37 times. It looks excellent. Kathryn Hahn is a treasure. Moving on. Black Widow. One of the things that I missed the most during the pandemic is going to a movie theater at 7 p.m. on a Thursday, buying a humongous bucket of popcorn with the characters from the movie that I'm about to see on the side of the bucket, and watching a big Marvel movie. In case you didn't believe me, I save all of them. These are two good ones, except these have like these weird little handles that the popcorn would see better. If the movie's great, it's awesome. Even if the movie's fine, it's still a good time. And once I get the vaccine and it's safe to go to theaters, Black Widow is exactly the kind of fun night that I've been missing out on. Hawkeye. This is currently slated to come out in 2021, and boy was I not excited until I saw pictures. I don't know much about the script, but the fact that they are visually leaning on the Matt Fraction Hawkeye run is a very good sign. It means, at the very least, that they are not ignoring one of the best Marvel comics of the last decade. I mean, they gave Kate Bishop little band-aids. If you haven't read My Life as a Weapon, I cannot stress enough, even if you are not a comics fan, you'll probably love it. And seeing it in live action is a great sign for the series. Pizza Dog, enough said. What if? This is a really fun premise, and we're finally getting to the fun part of the MCU that they couldn't really do 10 movies in. The groundwork is paying off. You got Super Soldier Agent Carter, Jeffrey Wright as the Watcher, and more Jeff Goldblums, which means hopefully one of the episodes is my favorite premise from the Patreon exclusive whiteboard video where I pitched potential what if episodes. What if Korg printed enough pamphlets? Falcon and the Winter Soldier, Zemo wears the sock, 10 out of 10. Loki. I don't hear nearly enough people talk about the fact that Owen Wilson is now in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. It's so much fun. And Owen Wilson has been through it, especially in the late 2000s, and I think he kind of missed the superhero boom. I, on some pretty unique authority, believe Owen Wilson is the only other actor that could have brought that Sam Rockwell level energy to Justin Hammer, and if Sam Rockwell is ever unable to fulfill his duties, Owen Wilson should step into the role. Even though he's already in this, who cares? Also, the show is being run by a Rick and Morty writer. Loki is poised to rule. Shang-Chi. Martial arts MCU movie, moving on. The Eternals. Chloe Zhao is one of the most exciting directors working right now, and she is writing and directing a movie about one of the weirdest corners of the MCU. I've never been the biggest fan of the Eternals. I read the Neil Gaiman run and it didn't, grab me, but there's definitely something there. And the cast. Angelina Jolie is in a Marvel movie. Selma Hayek is in a Marvel movie. Richard Madden, Brian Tyree Henry, Ma Dong-seok, Lauren Ridloff, Camille Nanjiani, and Kit Harington. I feel like we barely talk about the fact that we are getting the Black Knight in an MCU movie. And I love that Marvel's just ignoring the fact that they wasted Gemma Chan and Captain Marvel and throwing her into this too. MODOK. Okay, so not technically MCU, but definitely Marvel. A MODOK show, stop motion animated, written and starring Patton Oswalt. Are you kidding me? Why is this not front page news? No joke, I had to explain this show to the owner of my local comic book shop last week. And it's not his fault, it's mine. I should be wearing a shirt every day that says Patton Oswalt is playing MODOK. Plus, this show is also written by Jordan Blum, one of the writers of American Dad, a truly undervalued comedy that people I know have recently come around on. And it stars, among others, two of the funniest actors working that I will pretty much watch whatever they do. Benny Schwartz, aka John Ralphio, and Sam Richardson, aka Richard Splett, and the guy that hosts the baby pageant ruined by Bart Harley Jarvis. Seriously, this show even comes with a companion comic that is really funny. 2 issues of it are out now. Okay, no more Marvel stuff. Let's talk about their distinguished competition, Suicide Squad. James Gunn wrote and directed a Suicide Squad movie that features King Shark. What more do you need? Nathan Fillion is playing the detachable kid. They invented a second rat catcher. Paddington's greatest rival, Peter Capaldi, is the thinker, and they're giving him those weird head screw thingies. This is my most anticipated movie of the year, and it's going to be in theaters and at your house. If you have HBO Max, you do not have to pay extra for this movie. What a treat! You can watch it a million times! Speaking of that, the Snyder Cut. Finally, Steppenwolf will be restored to his full pointy glory. Alright, I'll be honest. I'm not a big fan of Snyder or the incredibly vocal portion of his fans that would spam tweets about celebrity death with pleas for the Snyder Cut. But there are other fans who did nothing but sign some petitions and donate to suicide prevention charities, and I'm genuinely happy for those people. Hell, maybe this version of the movie will be good. Stranger things have happened. Doom Patrol. You guys remember how during the pandemic they released the 2nd season of Doom Patrol, but the season abruptly ended because they hadn't finished the last episode yet? Right? That happened in 2020. And I'm not sure what to expect from season 3 or when it will actually get released, but Doom Patrol is wonderful, and at the very least, we'll probably finally see that finale. Also, if you want to hear me talk about Doom Patrol, I made a video that you can only find on Nebula, a streaming service that I helped to create. More on that later. On to the next category. So remember how a couple of movies got pushed to streaming during the pandemic, and they were all pretty bad? Remember Scoob? Remember Artemis Fowl? Remember Wonder Woman 1984? Bill and Ted 3 was good though. But still, I have a theory that studios knew these movies were going to flop, so they threw them onto streaming. I know, groundbreaking stuff. But okay, so if that's true, that would imply the inverse as well. If a studio had every incentive to throw a movie to streaming or VOD, and they chose not to, that must mean they expect that movie to be a winner. Like, they saved all the genuine studs for 2021. And we are going to get a year of pure gold. And yeah, there are things like the aforementioned Black Widow, or F9, or even No Time to Die, although who knows with that one. There are some movies that studios know would make $1 billion in theaters, so of course they held on to them. But I don't think studios thought, say, Edgar Wright's Last Night in Soho was going to be a $1 billion movie. But they held on to it, which leads me to believe they think it has the potential to make a lot of money because it's good, and word of mouth and positive reviews will keep it in theaters for a long time. And let's look at One Night in Soho. This is a movie by Edgar Wright, one of the most consistently great working filmmakers. I mean, has he made a bad movie? Or even a just okay one? Like, I don't think so. And his next movie is some sort of time-traveling psychological thriller starring Anya Taylor-Joy. It might even be a musical, maybe. Nobody knows. But damn, that sounds good. And I know I said we were done with Marvel, but remember The Kingsman? It isn't a Marvel movie, but the Secret Service comics were produced by Icon, a Marvel imprint. A technicality, but still, I'd get comments. Anyway, you remember The Kingsman? They look good, right? Origin of the Kingsman, where Ralph Fiennes sword fights Rasputin. Disney couldn't wait to release that one. They kept pushing it and then pushing it back a little bit more and a little bit more because they really seemed to want to release it in theaters. And I bet that's because it's a big hit. And I know Kingsman 2 is a train wreck, maybe the worst movie I've seen in theaters twice, but I just have this feeling that it'll be different this time. Call me a fool, but we'll check back in a few months. Also, The Green Knight. I don't know a ton about this movie, but my film friends are super excited about it, so cool. And I've never been a big Baz Luhrmann fan, but I do love Elvis, and Baz is apparently making an Elvis movie, so that's awesome. Maybe, or maybe it'll stink, who knows? And, oh yeah, Speed Racer's own Lana Wachowski is making a 4th Matrix movie set to release in 2021. Say what you will about the 2nd and 3rd Matrix movies, but listen, Speed Racer is a masterpiece, and more movies with Speed Racer energy is nothing but a good thing. And there are so many movies slated for 2021 that could be winners. Like Dune, a movie I don't even kind of understand. We're basically getting 2 years of movies where all of the bad movies from the first year have been weeded out. Last thing, real quick, streaming stuff. And out of everything I'm looking forward to, these are the things that I really don't hear enough people talking about. We are getting an animated adaptation of Robert Kirkman's Invincible in 2021 on Amazon Prime. It looks incredible. The cast is stacked. I don't want to get into it too much, but J.K. Simmons is probably the single best casting choice in all of 2021, and I cannot wait to see this series play out. Y: The Last Man. Brian K. Vaughan series about a post-apocalyptic world where all but one man mysteriously die has been in development forever, but it seems like it may finally get released this year. Maybe, probably not. The Dropout. I love a good story about a grifter. Your Fire Festivals, your McMillions, and in 2021, we are getting a series based on The Dropout, the award-winning podcast about Elizabeth Holmes. She created Theranos, a company that produced a newfangled machine that tested blood, except, spoiler alert, it didn't. The story is fascinating. HBO actually made a documentary called The Inventor Out for Blood in Silicon Valley that tells the story, and it's very interesting. And Hulu is producing a series starring Kate McKinnon as Holmes. She could do Crazy Eyes better than anybody else. Perfect casting, I can't wait. Lord of the Rings. Remember how Amazon is making a Lord of the Rings series? Well, that's currently slated to be released in 2021, and it's being directed by J.A. Bayona, who also directed a little movie about a dinosaur auction, and it's going to be about the Second Age of Middle-earth. I don't really know what that means, but apparently the Second Age comes before the Lord of the Rings movie, so new stuff. And in a post-HBO's Watchmen world, I'm a little hopeful about that premise. Like, using the framework of Middle-earth to tell a completely new story has the potential to be very interesting. And the budget for this show is insane. And there are plenty of others. Apple TV Plus is making a show based on Pachinko that they're very excited about. You've got the Book of Boba Fett over there on Disney Plus, and new seasons of The Boys, I think. Umbrella Academy, maybe. More Curb Your Enthusiasm, more Los Spookies. 2021 is already shaping up to be a lot, and we are a week in at the time of this recording, but if that feels like too much, remember, there are so many potentially great things to look forward to, like going outside to places. But on top of that, movies and TV in 2021 are poised to be amazing. Also, there are probably some games too, but I don't feel right looking forward to any of them after Cyberpunk. Oh, and one more thing. You've definitely heard me talk about Nebula, the wonderful subscription streaming service made by myself and a bunch of other creator friends. On Nebula, you can watch our videos without ads, support creators you love, and watch Nebula original videos. Like, I have made 3 videos in the Working Title series about why I love One Punch Man, Doom Patrol, and Watchmen, and you can only watch those videos on Nebula. So what does this have to do with CuriosityStream, the excellent subscription streaming service dedicated to nonfiction programming, documentaries, and stuff like that? Well, they love thoughtful content, and that is exactly what we make on Nebula, so we worked out a deal where if you sign up with the link in this description, not only do you get access to CuriosityStream, you also get access to Nebula for free. This is not a trial. You have it as long as you are a CuriosityStream customer, and you are going to be a CuriosityStream customer for a while. They have so many entertaining documentaries. You know me, I love the cute animal stuff. Here's another recommendation, something I watched recently, Seasons of the Otter. I myself believe otters are not only adorable, but fascinating, and this documentary makes a pretty good case for why. Also, it has otter pups in it. Anyway, signing up for CuriosityStream at my link will give you a 26% discount on the annual plan. However, for a limited time,
CuriosityStream is offering a holiday discount, which is 41% off, so you can get a CuriosityStream yearly subscription that is an annual plan for less than $12, less than $1 a month. As good as this deal has ever been, you can access CuriosityStream, you get access to Nebula, all of our videos early, all the Nebula exclusive original videos, everything we're going to work on for the next year. It is a terrific deal. Go to curiositystream.com/Nando, Nando, or click the link in the episode description and sign up today and watch that Otter documentary. Like I said, it's awesome.
As always, I have to give a humongous thank you to everyone who continues to support the channel on Patreon. You guys are the best. You want to see your name up here, get access to videos early, other cool stuff, like join the book club, where we talked about Tom King's Vision, which is one of the shows that I mentioned before. You can find all of that information at patreon.com/NandoVMovies. Chuck in, a couple bucks. It's so helpful. You have no idea how much I appreciate it. Listen to my podcast, Mostly Nitpicking, where every week me and my friends DJ and Diggins pick apart a piece of pop culture by looking exclusively at the details. I'm sure all of those things I just talked about will be mentioned on the show in the next year. Also, once I finish recording this, I'm going to go start recording an episode with them where we talk about our favorite things from 2020 and our things we're looking forward to in 2021. So you can listen to that wherever you listen to your podcasts. We are at NitpickingPod on Twitter. Buy the terrific Nando V Movies merchandise from the merch store. I've seen some of you have been tweeting me that you've gotten yours delivered, which is so cool. Thank you so much. It's a really good way to support the show and just a way to wear a cool pin or anything like that. Last thing, follow me on Twitter, Instagram, Twitch, TikTok. I am Nando V Movies on all of those platforms. That's all I got. Stay safe, and I'll see you next time.